So the last major Nintendo event where we got a lot of game announcements was of course the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct that happened at the very start of April, and this was where we got the official deep dive on the system itself and all of the new features about it, but Nintendo also revealed a bunch of new games like Donkey Kong Bonanza, the full blowout for Mario Kart World, and some other stuff as well. But since then, we haven't had any other big Nintendo event, and people have been wondering about when the next Nintendo Direct is going to happen. And typically we do get a summer Nintendo Direct around June, and a lot of people did think that that was going to be happening, especially kind of around that E3 time where we saw there was a lot of other events that were happening like Summer Game Fest and PlayStation State of Play and stuff, but we're at the end of June now, and Nintendo didn't really do anything besides having a special dedicated Direct to Donkey Kong Bonanza. But according to a new rumor from a very big YouTuber, a lot of people are thinking now that a brand new Nintendo Direct is scheduled to be happening in July, and that's what we're going to be talking about here. So this information is coming from the YouTuber Beat-em-ups, and I'm sure you guys have heard of this person. He's a huge YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers, and he covers a lot of Nintendo stuff, so I'm sure you guys have seen him around. And I think on one of his recent podcasts or something, he recently said that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct that's going to be happening next month, and that he's heard about this, but he's not allowed to disclose the information for how he knows that this is going to happen, and then he also gave some details about some of the stuff that's going to be in it. Now from what I've seen, Beat-em-ups isn't really the type of person who's just always spewing out like rumors and stuff about things that he's heard about and stuff that he feels like is gonna happen, but the fact that he's doing this now, I feel like he wouldn't be doing it unless he actually has a reason to believe that something is gonna be happening, and he seems a little bit confident in it, so that's why I'm covering this, because it's not like he's always just saying stuff like this and then half of it never ends up being true. It does seem like he has a reason to believe that this is actually gonna happen. But now moving into the information itself for what this Nintendo Direct is supposedly going to have, the first thing that it says right here is that this Direct is going to announce Metaphor ReFantazio coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. And I feel like this is honestly kind of a no-brainer because this is a huge multi-platform RPG from Atlas that had come out last year, but it obviously skipped the Nintendo Switch because I'm sure it would have been hell to try to get that game to run on the current Nintendo Switch, but on the Nintendo Switch 2 it should be able to run pretty easily. I think the game did come out on PlayStation 4 and stuff, so it should be able to kind of use that version or maybe like a Steam Deck version or something and have that game work. But yeah, I mean, this game I think won Best Story I think last year at the Game Awards. A lot of people have said good things about it, so having a big massive RPG like this early into the Nintendo Switch 2's life would obviously be amazing. It seems like we're also going to get an announcement for the Nintendo Switch Online GameCube games, which is a shadow drop for Pokemon Colosseum. Now this was also one of the games that was already kind of teased inside of the April Direct where they showed that GameCube games were going to be coming to the Switch 2, so we already know that Pokemon Colosseum and also XD Gale of Darkness are going to be coming to the service, so I guess the first shadow drop is going to be that game. That's awesome because I've never played Pokemon Colosseum or XD Gale of Darkness. Those are two games that I've really wanted to play, so I will definitely be checking that out, and I do want to play those games on my own time, so that is going to be really awesome, so I do hope that that happens very soon. Now the next game that it mentions here is Death Stranding Director's Cut S. So Death Stranding was of course a huge Hideo Kojima game that had come out a few years ago, and this is also one of those games now that I feel like would be able to run on the Nintendo Switch 2. We've already seen now that a lot of these games that had come out on like the PS4 and Xbox One generation are able to work on the Nintendo Switch 2, so this is definitely a game like that now that I feel like could come to the system. And what's interesting is actually just today, people had noticed that there's obviously a sequel to Death Stranding coming out very soon, and it's actually been claimed here that if we look in the credits of the game, we can actually see Nintendo Pictures credited in them, which is so interesting because like we don't hear anything about like Nintendo working on this Kojima game, but Nintendo is literally in the credits with like somehow helping with like the motion capture or something with this game, which is very interesting. And so because of that, I feel like maybe Kojima has to be thinking about like bringing Death Stranding to the Nintendo Switch 2, and hopefully at some point bringing this sequel game to the Switch 2 as well. So I feel like now this is actually making more sense, and it probably is going to happen. It also says here that The Witcher 3 is going to be getting a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. This I feel like makes a lot of sense as well. It is interesting how it's mentioning a Nintendo Switch 2 edition specifically. That's usually the ones that come with like new content, so we would expect this one to be paid maybe and having like an upgrade pack that costs like $5 or $10. And if that's the case, I do wonder what exactly like the new content is going to be. But if it's just going to be like adding better resolution and frame rate and stuff, then it could just be a free patch, or maybe it could even be that and then having like extra content that you could choose to buy if you want to. But with seeing how successful Cyberpunk 2077 was on the Nintendo Switch 2 at launch, we've already seen a lot of people saying that it sold really well, and I'm sure CD Projekt Red is very happy with it, so I'm sure they also want to update the previous game that they had brought to a Nintendo platform as well, so I can see this happening too. It also says here that we're going to be getting the release date for Metroid Prime 4. This is of course a no-brainer, like this doesn't need to be a leak or a rumor. Regardless of whenever the next Nintendo presentation is, if it's going to be a direct, we are 100% getting the release date for Metroid Prime 4, and even if we don't get a direct, I feel like they have to be very close to announcing the release date for this game very soon. It could honestly just be shadow drop with like a new trailer and then also getting the release date announced one day, because I feel like this game is very close. We're already halfway into the year. We know this game is slated for 2025, so it's only a matter of time before they officially have to tell us when the game does come out. And finally, the last thing that it mentions right here is that the big One More Thing finale surprise of this Nintendo Direct is going to be an Isabelle trailer for a brand new Animal Crossing game coming out in 2026. And to be honest with you guys, I feel like that this is also pretty likely to happen, because the last Animal Crossing game with New Horizons had come out in 2020 during like the pandemic and everything. It was a huge spike because of all the people staying indoors and wanting to play that game. But next year, it will have been 6 years since the last Animal Crossing game, and New Horizons actually ended up, I'm pretty sure, becoming the second best-selling game on the entire Nintendo Switch. And that's crazy considering that it was a game that had come out 3 years after the system had already released, and it's still like the only new game, because if you don't want to count Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because it's like a port of a Wii U game, then yeah, the first actual like straight up brand new game made for the Switch that's ranked the highest in terms of sales is Animal Crossing New Horizons, and we've already got a Mario Kart game now on the Switch 2 with Mario Kart World, so I'm sure Nintendo wanting to release an Animal Crossing game very early into the life makes a lot of sense, because now that's going to get so many people who are also just very casual people. I know so many girls who buy a Nintendo system just to play Animal Crossing and they'll never touch anything else, so just having a new game like that get announced very early into the Switch 2's life, that's immediately going to be sending so many Switch 2s flying off of store shelves. And then pair that with like a new generation of Pokemon, which is probably going to be coming out next year too for the Pokemon anniversary. Yeah, Nintendo is in a very good position if they do that, so I feel like it does make a lot of sense. But yeah, that is pretty much the rumor that we have for this brand new upcoming Nintendo Direct. It's supposed to be happening in July, so I feel like it's going to be a little bit interesting, because it's either going to have to be next week or the week after. And the thing about it is, next week we've already heard that there's apparently going to be Donkey Kong Bonanza previews that are going to be coming out on Tuesday, so I feel like they wouldn't do that and then have also a Nintendo Direct as well. So then it has to be the week after, I would imagine, the second week of July, because the week after that, the third week, we've got Donkey Kong Bonanza releasing, and then the week after that, we've got the Pokemon Presents. So it has to be either the first or second week of July, I think, if there is going to be a Direct. I'm going to say the second week, because next week we've got the DK previews, but we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely be sure to click that like button and also subscribe to the channel as well. I'm definitely going to have some more videos talking about the Nintendo Switch 2, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Comment down below and let me know what you think about all of this. Do you think that this Nintendo Direct is going to be happening? And what do you think about these announcements that are supposedly rumored to be in it? Do you think that they're likely? Do you not think that they're likely? How do you feel about everything? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. But if you don't have anything to say, just comment your favorite emoji down below for some engagement. I would really appreciate it. Go follow me on Twitter at @Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.